Today's episode is sponsored by Genuine Connection, whose new EP, I Swear, is a collection of 5 emotionally driven, heartfelt songs with undeniably catchy choruses. But don't take my word for it. Download and stream the EP at genuineconnection.bandcamp.com and catch them live on February 26th at Cassette in Ridgewood, Queens with Starcard and Daisies. Hello, and welcome to Everything Remade, a podcast that I hope is about growth as much as it is about music. I'm Edie Quinn, and we have a great show lined up for you today. Before we get started, though, I'd like to remind you about our Patreon page at patreon.com/humanmachine, where you can go to sign up and support the show, get music sneak peeks, read zines, and so much more. That's patreon.com/humanmachine. And now, I'd like to play something for you. You're hearing Death of a Death Salesman by Viscacha, featuring my new pal Cara on guitar. The song comes from their brand new 4-song winter demo, which you can find on Bandcamp now.
I will say, like, growing up, high school, college, I did try to make music. I tried to, like, do music with people. I had a couple projects, like, kind of start, kind of fizzle out. Like, nothing to where, like, any music was ever released. And I moved to Wisconsin for, like, grad school originally. But while I was in my first year there, I had not done anything. I had gone to a couple shows when I was in college, and I had thought it was really cool. Like, I kind of understood what the scene was in Alabama where I'd been, but I had not really gone to any shows in Wisconsin yet. I was kind of avoiding it, kind of had moved on from music more or less. But I, like, last minute, like the week before the show happened, saw that Frail Body was playing in Madison, and kind of on a whim decided to go to that show. I had seen them before in Alabama, and they were, like, incredible. I was a huge fan. This was before Artificial Bouquet, but I really loved In Memoriam, and their show was incredible. But actually, the set that really moved me and made me go, "Oh wait, I have to do this," was Riot Nine played third, which is so cool because Cleo's in Viscacha.
Yeah.
Um, but basically, I saw them perform. It was like it was it had been really hard moving to a new state. I didn't really have a lot of people at the time, and just seeing this and seeing this like huge, their set was always about community and um, just sort of resisting the evils around us or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but it really moved me, and I was like, I really need to be in a band right now. And not long after that, saw an internet posting for a band in Madison and joined it, and that ended up being my first band, Silvaloo.
Oh, okay. With with Joe, right? A-
Uh,
maybe thinking of the wrong.
Will?
Will, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was
Um,
thinking the wrong name there.
no, but yeah,
Yeah,
Will was
Will.
in that. Yeah, he played drums.
Yeah. Um, and y'all were both from like down south and ended up
Yeah.
in yeah, that's wild. I didn't know there was a connection there. I didn't like I just the only person that I know from Viscacha is Cleo. So like yeah. And that's wild
And
that you
Cleo was in Silvaloo too at the
oh
end.
right. The
Like,
she was playing bass, right?
she was playing guitar, but she plays bass in one of her other bands.
Oh, okay. I for whatever reason I thought that she was playing bass in that, which was something that I had not known her to do. So that's why that stuck in my
Mhm.
brain. But no, so um, yeah. So so did you meet her before she got in Sovalu, or did you already?
I like walked up, and I'm so bad at approaching people, especially like at a show or something, but I like had to force myself to talk to her after the Frail Body set. I like introduced myself, like told her the set meant a lot and stuff. And we like exchanged socials or whatever. And then like I think 2 or 3 weeks, she told me, she was like, "Hey, you have to come to this snag show. It's in Madison in 3 weeks. I'm definitely gonna be there." And then we like kind of socialized at that a little bit and got to know each other. And then later, um, Solvalu, one of the members, left, and we needed a new guitarist. And I posted about it, and she was like, "Hell yeah, I'll join."
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't like I wasn't 100% on where like how this was like whether Sovalu was like already a thing and then you joined and you're like, "Oh, Cleo's here," or like where the because yeah, I mean, the only thing I knew about that was that Will was in the band and then like there was there seemed to be like there was a lot of things that were going to happen with that band and unfortunately didn't end up happening. Is that kind of
Yeah, I mean, Cleo lived in Milwaukee, which was always kind of difficult, and then we just all had very different life stuff going on. I ended up moving to Milwaukee from Madison. Um, like Will was in grad school, I was leaving grad school. Like there's just a lot of different like life stuff going on.
yeah. It's wild like so where did you live like you said you were from Alabama. Where did you live in Alabama?
So I actually only went to like college in Alabama.
Oh,
I
okay.
lived in Tuscaloosa for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
I'm from North Carolina,
Oh, okay. So you
like Charlotte area.
were you not connected to any kind of music scene there before you went to college?
No, I was a lame high schooler. I didn't like do anything fun or interesting.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know, like um it's just yeah, it's wild cuz like right now like that area is like they have a really great music scene going on. So like yeah, you're always just just out of the area or like, well, I mean, Milwaukee's always like as long as I've been playing music. Milwaukee's always had a great music scene, so there's no,
Absolutely.
there's no seasons there. It's just like there's always something awesome going on. But yeah, so you were into, like, you said you'd seen Frail Body before, and so you were into like all of this kind of stuff, but it
Yeah.
just never really, like, you never played like an instrument growing up or anything. You said you
Well,
know.
no, I've been playing guitar since I was like 12.
Oh,
I
okay.
absolutely loved playing guitar. I just have not really, like in high school, tried to do a band with some friends, but everyone ended up dating each other. Or like in college, I tried to do a project with someone and it just, our friendship blew up before we could make any good music. Um,
Yeah.
but I kind of considered trying to do more music stuff. When I lived in Alabama, the scene there was awesome. In Birmingham specifically, is awesome. I know a couple really cool, talented musicians who still play in that area.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite venue I've ever been to is there. It's where I saw Frail Body. It's the Firehouse.
Yeah.
That is just a firehouse.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah. I when you were saying like you were trying to start something, or you made attempts before, um I don't know if you already said that you were playing guitar. So like, as like, you're just the vocalist in Viscacha, right?
I am not the vocalist. I
You're not the
am
vocalist. You're
no,
the
I'm guitar.
Okay. I don't
Me and Cleo are guitar. Our
Okay.
vocalist is Jahetta.
Okay. So I thought that the chat said we're going to put you in touch with our vocalist, but maybe
I apologize. I think
I don't, maybe
I
I'm just reading that wrong. I don't know. It's like, the way that this goes is it's like been a week in a string
mhm.
of it's been a weeks. So like,
Yeah.
and I usually, to my own credit, I usually have an opportunity to do like a bit more research, but it's like y'all's demo just dropped, and the the names of the players are there, but no, it doesn't. In true like
Yeah, that's
late
super
'90s,
unhelpful.
yeah, it really ambiguous. Like, these are the people, and then there's even like four more people, including Sam from Snag, where it's like, okay, they're underneath the band right there. So like, maybe they did like some backup vocals,
Sam,
maybe they did some yelling on here or something. Maybe they, you know, s-
Sam
uh,
did our art. That's those are the people who mixed, recorded,
okay.
did photography for us, and then Sam did our art.
Okay, okay. I was like, this could be anything down here. So that
The
that
mystery
makes,
section.
yeah, yeah. Unofficial members, but yeah. So like, you were you were trying to start bands, and you were into this stuff. Like, how did you initially get involved in like screamo, as it were, or like punk music? Like, how did you come to it?
Um, the internet, I guess. I mean, I liked heavier music kind of in like when I was in high school and stuff. I was getting interested in like black metal or death metal or whatever, like extreme music. But I also really liked a lot of emo music, like Taking Back Sunday, like Mahalcore, um, type stuff. And I didn't really understand that there was like intersections between those for a long time until like I must have discovered like Seisha on Reddit or something. I have no idea, but I think Seisha was like the first band I ever like discovered that was screamo, and it just like clicked for me. I was like, oh, this is just the coolest thing I've ever heard. Like, I loved the rhythms, the way the guitars were played, the way the vocals sounded, and just from there, I got really into like '90s, 2000, like early 2000s screamo,
So
and it was like all just listening at first. I didn't even like you were saying, like I didn't really consider that these were like real people who could like make a band and played shows near me. Like the first time I went to go see a show at the Firehouse, I was like, oh yeah, I could just go see Frail Body, a screamo band I like, in person, like for $15 or whatever.
yeah, it's 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 wild too, because like, especially in like screamo and stuff, like, there's such a disparity between like it could be like the best band in the world that you're listening to right now. Like it could be like people in their 40s, or it could be like literally like 17-year-old
Yeah,
like people, and
absolutely.
and they're on like the same level of like craftsmanship and quality, et cetera, et cetera. So like when you go to a show or whatever, like you like the possibility of seeing yourself reflected in the person across from you is like, I can't think of another genre where that's like such a possibility. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. I just was at a show that Snag played where like the other bands that played were 18-year-old like nonsense screamo, just noise and just like really fun, good vibes. And then, Snag plays their set and it's like, oh, this is all the same genre and it's awesome and just great vibes. Just to see so many different ages represented in the crowd too is just cool.
yeah, yeah, and like, and hopefully, like further than that as well. Just like, yeah, ages and like, you know, I mean, Snag Scott, Peter, who's like, looks like a fairly like timid, sort of like down to earthy, kind of like nerdy type guy. And then there's Sam, it's like straight rocker, and then like Saki, and you're like, well, I don't know what's going on with that person, And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's nothing like when I was growing up, and you're like, well, I couldn't be in a band because like, band people are all, they're like really made up, like larger than life figures,
Absolutely.
Axl Rose or whatever. You're like, you can't just wake up one day and you're Axl Rose or whatnot, So it really like makes it where when you're there and you're like, no, these are people like that just like do the same things that we do, and they just like pick up get their guitars and start going, and I don't know, it's awesome. So Riot 9, and then you end up in some bands with like this person that like kicked off, you know, things for you, like being inspiring to you and everything like that. Were you at first, were you like nervous to sort of like start throwing things out there, or was it always just kind of like, you know, it just was
Yeah,
what
I
it
mean when
was?
I mean, I guess I was a little bit intimidated at first, but when she joined Soul Blue, like all of our songs were like mostly written, and then like by the time we started Viscacha, it was like we were just friends, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's actually like her, two of her roommates, and then me and another friend, like that makes up Viscacha.
yeah. I saw that. I saw it was like recorded at three people in the band's house. I'm like, well, this either means that this band has a potential to be a band for a while and hang around because like they already live together and they already know each other like so well, based on that like, you know it's not going to be like, surprise, there's all this drama, and like, or it's just like there's, sometimes when bands live together like that, it's like there's a real time limit on this because of how volatile relationships can be when people live together and stuff like that.
I mean, I think right now it's pretty good.
It's good. Yeah.
I
Well,
don't. I mean, I don't live there, so it's not really.
not yet.
um,
No, that was just like a thing like back in the 90s. That was like people thought that if you were in a band together, especially a screamo band or something, people just thought like you have to, well, that's the next step, right? You get in a band and everybody moves into the same house. And then it's just like everybody's like, wow, I wonder why bands only put out like 1 7-inch, like
being in a band is just like being in a relationship. You have to move in together.
you have to move in together. You all have to meet each other's parents, and um, you all have to know which like which one of the which one of the parents it's okay when that parent calls, but it's not when the other one, and like how to be there for somebody when that other one calls, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I'm since I'm actually knowing like what you do in the band now and stuff, I have to ask the question: which speaker are you in on the demo?
I'm left speaker.
I knew it. I could tell. I could tell the way that like
The way
this.
Cleo's guitar
Yeah,
sounds.
yeah. Where it's like the this sort of like Americana esque like bendy notes happening in the right
That's
speaker.
her 100%.
Yeah, I was like, I would be way surprised if if that wasn't Cleo. Uh, but yeah, I really love to like sit there and like just as a guitar like person that plays guitar like first, as like that's what I've played the longest. Like I love to sit there and like listen to like what the guitars are doing, like how they're working off each other, and like yeah, I mean y'all you've only put out 4 songs, but like there is so much going on there to like and to like sort of analyze. And the first time I listened to it, I wasn't really able to do that because I was just like every 5 seconds I feel like the rug was being pulled out from me. Like okay, now we're doing kind of like a hopeful, like almost like you know like catchy poppy kind of thing musically, and then it's like, oh no, here we are again, like we're in the pits of despair kind of like thing. um but yeah, I it's when you started the band, like were there conversations about like what you were trying to do specifically, or was it just like everybody got together and started showing each other some riffs and stuff?
We have an interesting writing process, and we're still kind of like working it out because actually, the first and the last song on the EP were kind of already written. They so I it was suggested that I go on the podcast because technically, like, I write a lot of the skeletons for the songs. Um, like the last song is based off of like something I have submitted for a college project like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Um, but it's a lot of like me kind of getting out a general structure of what we're going to be doing and then letting everyone kind of go crazy with their parts because everyone is so talented and has their specific sound that they bring to it, and we kind of go from there. Like I do think the original like Death Salesman song was like only 3 or 4 minutes, and we like ended up adding this whole like clean section of build and uh, kind of a bass solo thing that we were doing. Um, but yeah, I don't know if we've like necessarily had sort of specific intentions in sound. It's kind of just been all of us have like really different tastes. I think we're kind of under the screamo label, but when we're writing, it's trying kind of like we're trying to make everyone happy and playing something that they think is fun, and we're trying to find the middle of that somewhere.
Is there ever any like not pushback, that's not the word I'm looking for, but like is there ever any like, hey, this song is leaning all in too much of the same direction, like let's like I want some of this flavor in here and we're not getting
Uh,
that right now?
Absolutely, and it can
Yeah.
be. kind of a not a difficult process. I mean, it takes us a long time to make songs. Like that is, um, we've been a project for like a year and a half now, and it took us a year to do like the 4 song EP, and it took us like 8 months, I think, to play a show, like that kind of stuff. Um, because it does take a while. But like when I'm like writing out sort of a song structure in Ableton for us to start working off of, it doesn't have that like Americana-ness guitar that Cleo loves, or whatever other aspect that people kind of want in the music, and we have to kind of work from there to where we want the song to be, and that can be a process just in that like I can't write riffs like Cleo at all. um it's just like not what makes sense to my brain. I can't do those bends,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. So it's like trying to meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. And is it a lot of just trial and error, or is it a lot of like just, well, I mean, I suppose it's all kind of trial and error, but like is
Yeah.
is it a is it like trying like lots of different things, or just like putting one element in and working on that, or is it like let's try these three things and then see which one?
I think a lot of the time it's like I have a riff I really want to play, and we
Uh-huh.
kind of work off of that. Um, I'm I hadn't really been in projects like before Soul Blue or whatever, but like I have been someone who just like I play guitar in my room all the time, trying to do whatever dumb stuff I can, like writing riffs. So there's like riffs in Viscacha that are like 10 years old or something, just stuff I've like held on to forever.
it's it's interesting, like, you know, you specifically were talking about Death of a Death Salesman, and like you said the song was like three minutes before. It's like over 6 minutes now, isn't it? Almost seven. Isn't it like 6 minutes and 40 seconds or something? Or am I?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's the longest one on the
So
demo.
like I think, like, I'll go ahead and say it, that I think that like that is like my favorite song that I've heard this year, that's come out this year. Like, I think
Thank
it's
you.
I think it's incredible. I think it goes so many different places, and it every like I feel like every time that you think there's no more surprises in it, there's more surprises. And like, it's interesting you say, oh, the song was like 3 minutes, and then now it's like 6 minutes. So like, as far as like what changed about that song specifically, or like how it became like that, without like necessarily like how the sausage is made, like if you don't, like, I don't want to give away our secrets, kind of thing. But like, what was the what was it like you said? Okay, the structure, I'm taking it like that's what you meant, was 3 minutes
Yeah.
long. And then, was it like the structure was all there, and that structure didn't really change that much? Is it just it, specific instances of how long parts were in the song like got longer, or like were there whole new elements that were like, well, let's bring some of this in the middle? And so, like, okay, so we put this thing in the middle and extended this middle out. Like, how was that process? Like,
Some of both.
yeah.
Uh, we I think a lot of what was there beforehand was like the intro, and like the middle part with kind of the more rock and roll chords, and then the kind of mathy riff that happens like halfway through. And like we did extend out some of those parts, but uh, a lot of it is like adding those new ideas in practice. Like we just like, oh, what if we did this here too? What if we like added um, like I think me and our bassist Tyrell were like jamming around and playing around with this bass riff, and like that ended up being the entire progression for the back half. And we didn't even mean it to be this whole like 2.5 minute long like post rocky thing, but it just happened, and we just kept jamming on it. It was so fun. I think our first performance of I think it's the song that changed the most after our first performance, which was like in September of last year at Heavy Extreme Midwest. Um, and we like that's I think it was only like 4 or 5 minutes then, and we added this whole build at the end.
Okay, so from September until when y'all recorded in November, like that couple of months, like this whole other thing happened with this song that you'd been playing for, I don't know, 6 months or a few months
Yeah,
at that
something
point.
like that.
Yeah. And what you said that, okay, so this part, we didn't intend it to be this long. What happens with you specifically, like when you're trying to feel that out? Is it a lot of like you just sit there and you keep playing it and and then it's like, I've been in situations like, for example, where, you know, you just keep playing something until it feels like it's time to move, and then you're sort of like, wait, how many times was that? And
Oh, that is this band so
yeah,
often.
yeah.
Trying to like figure out how long we played certain sections after we jam it is frustrating, and it's my job because I have to make the file. Like I have to make the files that we practice off of.
Yeah. So like,
Um,
do you do like sometimes what I'll do is you just think, well, I think that was about 12. So then you try it 12 and you're like 12 wasn't long enough. Is that the kind
no,
of like
yeah, and it's like we're a 5 piece, so trying to get everyone on the same page. Like you can be like, oh, it's 12, and then it's like we're on 11 or 12, and it's like does everyone know we're here? Does everyone know we're changing after this part?
uh-huh.
And we don't always know. We're working on a new song that has like a whole like a build at the end, and we literally had to break out the whiteboard to be like, okay, this is how many times we play each section. I think the whiteboard is an amazing unlock. I think that's going to help a lot.
Yeah. Um it's funny because like, yeah, our drummer will like, he will write very detailed like notes to however like long a song goes or whatever, and I'm just like a vibes girly. Like I am just, but to my own credit, like I have like, whether it's because already spent whatever amount of time with this material before showing it to anyone, I can't really say. It doesn't seem to matter either way. It's just like sometimes, and you would think that it'd be like, well, it's just because you always do everything the in these certain increments, but it's not even true, because Jason will be like, you do that part 7 times. Why would you do that? And I'm like,
It's
I
like it's
don't.
such an evil number.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. That's just like, that was just what was right, and like, and so I've always done it. But yeah, sometimes like you're just like, I don't know, do it this many times. And then you try it, and then it's like, yeah, I don't know, how was that the right number? And,
I mean, I think that's the answer is that there is no right number. And
right.
that's the thing that like truly drives me crazy about writing songs is that there's like no right answer to any of it. It's just like whatever makes everyone happy and we're all proud to play at the end of the day.
Yeah. Is there, is there kind of like, are there like, once the song is recorded, then you're like, okay, that's what we're doing? Or like, do you still kind of, when you're playing live, are you feeling things out? Are you just like, well, you know what? I think on the recording we usually do that 12 times, but like everybody just kept jamming, so we just kept jamming.
Kind of. I don't know that we've done it necessarily yet, but it's something we're working on. At least for Death Salesman, I think we want to extend, at least when we play it live, the clean part just to be even longer jam. Give Jen some vocal rest because the set's really at times fast and intense.
Yeah, yeah. Go and yeah, I'm just like, get towel down a little bit, and get a lozenge or something real quick. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's, I don't know. There's a lot of this stuff that I do now where it's like, make the album and then like learn the songs to play live like later. So sometimes there is that sort of like, you know, how long, how many times did this go on the record? Like, should we do it that many times, or should we like shorten it, or should we? Usually with us, it's shortened because like we're trying to cram 15 years worth of songs into 19 minutes for a set, you know. So
Yeah, very difficult.
yeah, it's a little bit of a like it's I don't know. Um, maybe one day, maybe like one day we'll do like a last show and we'll like play for 30 minutes and then we won't have to do that. Um, people,
Yeah, I know we're adding new songs, and it's like we know we have to cut stuff because our set is like 17 minutes or whatever, and it's like we can't play more than
yeah,
22, 23.
yeah. When you're breaking out like 7 minute tracks, then you're like, shit. We can really only play like three songs, like.
Yeah, no, it
Uh,
really limits your options. And the new song that we're working on was supposed to be shorter, and now it's 5 minutes. So it's like, well, why even try?
yeah, kind of like I don't know. Yeah, like there was a point where we had a lot of like material in print, like in physical format. So it would be like, damn, like you know people might come up and be like, "Did you play any songs from this one?" And we're like, "No." "Did you play any songs from this one?" "No." "Do you?" But now we only have a few. We've got a lot less in print, so it's like we can kind of be like, we should pick one from that, and we should pick one from that, and we should pick one from that, and that can be, I don't know, that can be interesting to like inform the songs you're gonna play as well. Like I don't want these records in my basement anymore. Is there any way we can, um, but yeah,
I mean, I look forward to when we have more than four songs to pick from.
yeah, yeah, no,
Um,
it's awesome. I look forward to hearing more than four songs as well. But it is understandable that like it took y'all as I mean because there every once in a while like people just randomly message me and just ask me for recommendations or whatever, and I've definitely put several people onto y'all already because yeah I don't you know I am not like I will never badmouth screamo like just period. Like I will like even if it's something I feel like, well, I've heard a lot of this kind of thing before and I think it's done well, but it's not really speaking to me. Like I'll just never badmouth a screamo band. Like I would never be like, oh, this is like this is like that. But like there are a few things that have come out recently that where I'm just like I'm just like this is the feeling that I'm having right now is the feeling that I had when I first started hearing when this stuff first started existing, in the
yeah,
like and I first heard this first thing and I was like I have to be in a band like that. Like not saying like I'm thinking right now I have to be in a band like y'all, but it's like that same thing and there's been a few releases this year that have been like that for me and y'all's was definitely one of them. So thanks, and I hope that the band sticks around for a long time and lots of people go to your shows and hype y'all up and everything like that.
thank you.
But
We hope so too that we stick around.
yeah, yeah. So you said you're already you've been working on new songs, and it's like sometimes when it's like it took X amount of time to where when you finally do that release, sometimes like for me, I'm like, okay, I just need to fucking chill now because that was stressful in a way, right? And now it's like I want to feel like I want to revel in that. I want to feel like this sense of celebration or something that happened. But y'all are already just like, oh, we got new songs. They're 5 minutes. They're picking up steam, stuff like that. Is that kind? Is it kind of just like part of what y'all are doing, like where you just like, you know, we're just gonna keep writing songs. We're just gonna keep like, we're gonna set up the mics again in a few months, and we're gonna, keep going. Or is it just like, are y'all building to something like more than just like the next recording? Like, what are if any, the plans for this next set of songs?
I do think we're figuring that out
Yeah.
currently still, but I do like we do want to do an album at some point. Even this like demo, um, where it's kind of conflicted because I think it ended up sounding better than a demo, but we did record it in a basement and they're like all live takes other than vocals. So even like the idea of like re-recording some of these songs later is like something we might want to do. But I do like we've had these songs for like 6 months now or something, and the demo's only now coming out. So in a way, we have had that break already, and we have a lot of shows coming up in March and April. We're going on tour in April, like a little mini Midwestern tour. And I think we're just excited to have new stuff to show people because we've been playing the same set every time we've played for 6, 7 months now.
Yeah. And who was that tour with?
We are going on tour with Lovergirl from
Okay.
Minneapolis.
I thought so. I didn't want to. I already thought you were the vocalist, and I already said Will's name was Joe, so I just didn't want to. I didn't want to say Lovergirl, and you're like, no, Lovergirl's actually going on tour with this other really cool band, not us, but we would love that. But yeah, that's going to be an awesome tour. Have you played with them before?
I know I have not. I've never toured before. Like I'm super excited about this, but their music is great. The EP album, I don't know what they called it, but that came out is so good. I've been listening to it all the time lately.
Yeah, it's amazing. Um, I want to go back to this demo. I want to go back to the recording of it because you said that like you were a little bit surprised by it, and it's like it's understandable. Like you're like this was real low key. Like everybody just plugged in and more or less like played the songs like it was a set. Like the way you said
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
they were live takes. Um, and was that different than any other times you had recorded before, like with Sovlu or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I write a lot on my computer, so obviously I'm very like familiar with like just doing every individual instrument individually, separately. That's how we did it with Solvaloo. We put drums and we put everything else on top of it. But yeah, having to do it as like one take in a basement when it's like a 5 or 6 minute long song was certainly different. Um, there are a fair amount of little mistakes all over the release. I think as as is bound to happen, there's like 5 of us trying to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Though I will say, Loose Tooth or Death Salesman. Death Salesman is the first take we played that song, so proud of that. It's the
Wow.
longest one. Um,
And
but
when
we
you
also
got
had
to the
limited
end, you're
time.
like, yeah, we're not doing that again.
We're not doing that one again. That was good enough.
Yeah.
We had like limited time. It was really cold in the basement. It was like the middle of winter. That basement gets really cold. Our poor like the guy who we were recording with, Cheston, was like literally wearing gloves in our basement trying to type on his computer with our setup, and we had this whole janky setup where all our amps are facing away and we have couches literally moved in between them to like stop some of the sound bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge part of why like it ended up sounding, I think, better than we kind of initially expected, just because I think it was recorded and mixed like really well.
there's been instances where it's like, okay, so you go online or whatever, and you'll see somebody, and they're talking about like, when you record your guitar, like, do this, like, and take this and do this, and like the difference between like one instance where I took like just like basically like a comforter, and when I put the mic in front of the guitar amp, I took a comforter and I like basically made a fort out of the guitar amp and closed off the sound as much as possible with that. Um, and like the difference it'll make like one time versus like I'll do the same exact thing and it seemed like the amp was in the same spot, the mic was in the same spot, and it did like jack shit the next time. Like it's like you all like really like put in the effort to do all this and like struck gold, you know, because like I feel like there's another instance where all those things didn't make as much of a difference as they did. And
Oh,
so
absolutely.
yeah, and so it's awesome, like, and I think that, you know, it like I mean I wouldn't, if you were like, yeah, we record this in a shitty freezing basement, then like yeah, that's really surprising to me because it does sound like at least like, you know, it's not like at least it was kind of like a finished basement or like, you know, some kind of like some
Yeah.
kind of proofing whatsoever, but nothing, huh?
Not a basement that floods
Oh
every
gosh.
3 months.
Oh gosh. Yeah. um
Um,
I mean, if I've been in basements like the one you're describing, then they were in Milwaukee, that's for sure.
yeah,
Like
no, it's definitely a Milwaukee basement.
yeah. The only other
Not to not to make fun of my friend's basement.
no,
It's a
no,
rental.
it's like a Milwaukee thing though. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're like, yeah, the insulation that's in the floor of the, you know, the ceiling is sticking out everywhere, and you know, I can picture
Hmm.
it. But the only basement I think I have been in that was um more like what was actually a Fort Wayne, Indiana basement, where it was like it, like the walls and the floor were like still dirt and stuff, and it was like, oh, like I didn't know this was a thing that could happen. I thought that like, you know, at least there'd be like the brick on the
I didn't
walls,
know
but
that was allowed.
yeah,
I
I
didn't know that
like
was
exactly,
legal.
and you're just like, I hope nobody, you know, just starts like tunneling in from outside, or you know, like, I don't know what's gonna happen here, like, uh,
Playing music down there and it starts to displace the dirt in the walls.
yeah, or just, you know, some kinds of like ground rodents like start, you know, like what, like, oh, there's some vibrations, like what's there to eat on the other side of this, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. um so you're talking about like, you know, this song's like, even though like that was 3 months ago or whatever, there's still a potential for them to evolve, and you know, you're like, yeah, they could be re-recorded when we, you know, want to do an album and stuff like that. So is that like sort of like, well, we did the basement thing and that was awesome, it turned out better than we expected, but is that like the thing, like next time we're gonna all like pitch in and go somewhere and do like the whole multi-track thing and, you know, see how this all
Yeah.
shakes out? Yeah.
I mean, I think next time we definitely want to like, especially if we're doing an album or something, we want to put in all the effort we can to make it sound as good as we can. And I mean, I think we did that here too, where we wanted this to sound as good as we could. We just were on a budget.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I hope when we have the songs for, you know, an album's worth of material that we feel like fits together too, because we want to. I mean, these songs are on the winter demo are like a little bit all over the place in a way that I absolutely love. But like, I don't know. I think we'd want an album that's a little bit more cohesive, maybe. Um,
And do you
Maybe even
mean,
just like in identity wise.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, like, do, um as far as cohesion, and I know this isn't necessarily your your thing in the band, but like, do you mean like lyrical themes, or just like this music all feels like its own narrative in a way, or like, or
Yeah,
both things?
I think over like a 4 song demo where we wrote all these songs in very different places, like there's just only so much ability to like have sort of a narrative or like a unifying idea. It's just sort of 4 songs together, but um, just to build more, like, and the album just gives so much more opportunity to build like themes. And we'd love to do something where we like have a riff on one song and bring it back on another one, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm I actually have to, there's so many, like, I have to tell myself no on that one, so because I think I've done it already like 3 times, and I'm like,
Yeah, you only have 3 strikes when it
yeah,
comes
I'm
to
like,
that.
you like, don't do it again. And I'm already like, I'm writing something right now, and I'm putting everything together, and I'm like, I really want to. It's right there, and I'm like, well, how
It's
much
your
do I
Green
need to?
Goblin mask.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, but it's like, yeah, how much do I have to change it to where it's not the same? Like, what do I got to do to like? Because I'm like, yeah, I'm like, no, I'm like, this this really could open the it really could open the album, but also like you'd be kind of throwing it away if you didn't do it right
If you
here
didn't
and
make
sort
it
of
in.
and sort of close it. Like, what do so I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I didn't give away the the goose or anything, but I'm kind of like thinking like, what if I play, if I I don't know. Maybe I don't want to even say that, but it's just like sometimes when you're like, you know, it's you're like, how do I put this in like a different, like, a, like if you were skateboarding and you did the same trick on a snowboard, like, how much of it is the same, So like, could you
That's a great question.
could you just like sort of, could you alter like the presentation enough to where it's like you know sort of pull the wool over it? And also like, I I I I wrote a song called "The Thief Who Craves Capture." So sometimes I want to do something and like also find out that someone gave a shit enough to be like, "You did this. I caught you." You know what I
No,
mean?
I mean, that's truly being like that's the sign that someone's really listened to your music.
Yeah.
Um, but I
So,
love little details like that. I think if anyone's noticing that, that's awesome. That's
yeah.
great. And I love being the person who notices that kind of stuff.
I've
I love
done
being like, hey, doesn't this random screamo song from 20 years ago sound like this one from a year ago?
right, right. And I mean, I'll say something right now, like I've done something on like 3 of our albums that someone noticed on the first album like 14 years ago, and no one's noticed it since. I've done it 2 more times. And only one person's ever been like, "Hey, doesn't this do this?" Like, it's not musical. It's some, I mean, it's like, I get your decoder rings out, I guess, but it's like, I just think it's really obvious, and I'm always like, people are going to be like, you're a corny ass, so and so. But like, no one's ever, like,
I mean,
so
the truth of it is screamo's just really corny, and we're all just having fun.
yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, that's the thing right now, right? Where like this whole thing is going around where it's like, like, it's like, is like, is it cringe, or are you are you projecting your own bullshit on it? You know what I mean? Like, so I think yes and yes, like,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It is kind of corny, but also like, The reason you think it's corny is because you want to do it, but you're nervous, or you're
Hmm.
self, you're like judging how you're judging how you perceive others would judge you if you did it, And
Yeah, because the types of people that make screamo are the types of people that worry about that.
and it's so weird too, because like you're talking about a genre where it's like not only like it's not only like okay if you just like fall on the ground and forget how to play your instrument and just start crying instead. It's not only okay, but it's like encouraged,
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah, yeah. um, but at the same time, like like sometimes you're like, damn, like people are really worried about like how all this comes across, yeah. But I don't know. So stay tuned, like please, like everybody pay attention to all of the like guitar riffs, and like if you think somebody stole something from somewhere, like, hey, did you like
Call them
this?
out.
Yeah, yeah, did you like this thing? Because maybe somebody was hoping, like, damn it, yes, I really did, and thanks for noticing. But
It's
like,
just loving the game.
yeah, yeah. Um, you have the tour coming up. You said that's March,
That is April.
April,
April. I think
April.
we're starting April 22nd through 26th. I
Oh,
think we're
okay,
hitting Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit, I believe.
okay. Yeah, I just, I think I was confusing another tour that was March, which I just was talking about earlier, which is dim. But
Very cool.
yeah, where are you most excited to play?
Um, well, the Chicago show is just got a really fun lineup. Like I don't. I guess it's not been announced, so I guess I can't say that yet.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but probably Minneapolis. Like in terms of location, it's been a very long time since I've been to Minneapolis, and it's just a very cool city. Like my parents went to college there, uh, so I got some connections up there. I have family up there.
I've still never played in Minneapolis. I have to. I can't. I'm not allowed to like die or whatever before I do that. Cause like, I've lived in Indiana for so long and I've never played Minneapolis. Cause it's always like
That's really
okay,
far.
yeah, from where I am, and it's like okay, it's always been like, well, if you're going on tour, then you got a couple weeks. So you're going to do one of two things. You're going to go out to the East Coast, and it's going to be a nice, like, light leisurely time with like very small drives, and you get to play lots of places that are 3 hours within each other, and that's awesome. But you're going that way, and then it's like, or you're going to go the West Coast, and every drive is horrible, and it's like one of the most grueling experiences in inside of a vehicle that you can imagine, but it's like still awesome because you're on the West Coast all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden. It took like 2 whole weeks to get there. But like in either case, it's like you don't go to Minneapolis. So it's always
It's kind of
like,
in the
yeah,
middle. It's like stuck in the middle of nowhere,
it,
unfortunately.
yeah, and it's like you have to go up there and come back down if you're trying to go that way. So it's always like the intention is always like, you know, you need like a 4-day weekend because then you can do something closer to here. You can do Chicago, you can do Milwaukee, you can hit Minneapolis. But then it's like then you have to drive like 10 hours home, and it's like
Yeah,
so I just never have. And
I do
I
think we start there, which is
yeah.
nice.
Well, that makes sense
But it is
because
absurd because it's like Milwaukee, like an hour and a half to Chicago, and then what, a couple hours to Indianapolis. But it's like from Milwaukee to Minneapolis, it's like 5.5 hours. It's absurd.
yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. Um I just keep saying I keep putting it out there that I haven't played Minneapolis, and so hopefully like somebody will just they'll be like, all right, we're changing that right
We're
now.
making it
Yeah,
happen.
we're doing it. Like, uh, so I don't know. Maybe 2026 is the year. Who knows? But yeah, so are you playing at Healer or in Indianapolis?
I believe the Indianapolis show is a house show.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
Well,
don't remember the name of it.
Indianapolis has so much awesome stuff going on right now. So like y'all are gonna have a blast there, and it's awesome that you know y'all are playing in Indiana because like so many people are just like you know they'll skip right through and like with the things that are going on in Indiana right now, like I just think it's such a shame because like yeah, Indianapolis has awesome things going on. We're playing in Fort Wayne for the first time like in I don't even in nearly 10 years this summer, and so I'm really stoked to see what's going on there. But
That's cool. I know nothing about Fort Wayne other than that's where the Detroit Pistons were like founded.
Oh wow, I did not know that. But yeah, we've had like my bands have had such a like history of like being in and out of Fort Wayne, and the the people have changed so much, but every time it's just like, yeah, this feels like Fort Wayne again. This is awesome, and I hope that this show coming up is
That
just
is awesome.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I feel like we we could sit here and just chat like randomly about like so many different things, but I do try to keep these to about an hour, and that's sort of like where we're at now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything that we didn't chat about that you wanted to chat about before we sort of wrap it up?
Not offhand, I don't think. We talked about the band, and I mean, that's what I'm most excited to talk about right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's what we're here for. Yeah, it's like I said, I really love the demo. Are you all making like some kind of physical edition of it for the tour or anything like that?
yeah, I think we're working on CDs and cassettes at the moment. I think we're doing a pretty limited run at first, and because I think we're kind of doing it ourselves. I do a lot of the writing. I am not super involved in the merch side of things or the booking thing. So I apologize if I'm not always on top of those things. But yeah, I do believe we're doing a limited run and then kind of seeing how that goes and go from there, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good to have that like compartmentalization of like different tasks like for different people in the band because like otherwise just like in my case it's like I'm making the stuff and you know I'm mixing the songs and I'm writing a lot of the stuff and it's like
It's a lot.
this is a lot. Yeah. um
I like it. I really appreciate that in this band. I feel like everyone is doing like what they're best at, and I think for those of us who've like been in other bands, it's like they had been in bands where there were more responsibilities on them, and it just burnt them out so much more. But like right now, people can focus on what they're best at, what excites them the most, and we can just come together and play music.
yeah. I'm it's not even like with me it's not even like a burnout thing because like I genuinely enjoy each aspect of this. It's just that it's hard for me to make people understand sometimes like how much this is like how
It's so
much
much work.
all of this is, and it's like you know I don't just have like a million projects of music. I also spend like 20 hours a week like working on the podcast, and I also spend like all this time like doing zines and all this other stuff, and it's like I don't I don't, I would never want someone to just like magically come in and it's like, oh, I'll do all this stuff for you so you don't have to do it. It's not that. It's just like, sometimes it's just like, please, I need people to understand like why I didn't get this record out to you like within 3 days or what, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
it's so, yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I am stoked for y'all to get out there and to play in Indianapolis. I'm sure that y'all are going to have a great time, and hopefully next time y'all come back, maybe we can play together. But
Episode 2. I love your band. I got to see y'all play the Snag show for the split.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whenever that was.
Yeah, that was it seems like 10 years ago, but it was just really just like maybe 2.5. I don't know. Yeah, that was an awesome show. Riot 9 also played that one.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, they were great.
Incredible show.
Yeah.
Is that at Cactus Club?
Yep.
That was.
Uh-huh. We got the pictures with the magical Cactus Club background to prove it. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
That was our first Milwaukee show. Was at Cactus. It was great.
Oh, that's awesome. For sure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you have any shows coming up before your tour that you need to put out there?
Yes.
Okay.
We have one on. We have a Chicago show and a Milwaukee show.
Okay.
The Chicago one is March 28th. We're playing with Awan, Blood Nymph, Stander, and Genital Shame. And then on the 20th at MK Ultra in Milwaukee, we're playing with Haley Elizabeth, Emi Okama, and I Hate It Here. So
awesome.
Those are our two March shows that we're very excited to do. I think we're playing. We have played MK Ultra already once this year, and we're playing it 2 more times in a row in Milwaukee. So that has been very much our venue as of late.
That's the home base for right now. And that was my conversation with Cara from Viscacha. Thank you so much, Cara, for taking the time to chat with me. When I say this is one of the most exciting demos that I've heard in a long time, I mean that with my whole heart. Y'all need to seriously go check this out. Thanks to everyone, wherever you are, for listening as well. Don't forget to stop by patreon.com/humanmachine to check out what we got going on over there. And until next time, take care and do good things.